Hey folks, and welcome back to Lonely Horde Guitars. Today is all about truss rods. So most of the 6-pack has already got their truss rods, but I'm just about to start the two 12 strings, and that's going to be a little different. So I wanted to kind of go over that. So for the most part, same kind of truss rod, right up the middle. We're going to route like a 1/4 inch channel and then a little bit of a 5/16 to accept this rounded adjustment portion of the truss rod. But because it's a 12 string and is going to have considerable more tension on it, we're also going to use carbon fiber. This jig, let's see it here, is basically a track that is exactly the width of my router base. So if I center something in here and run the router down the middle, I cut a hole in the middle of the thing. So I've got a center line. I also keep this little block so I don't have to mess around with any rulers or anything like that. And then I adjust these screw sides here to center in the middle of my track. Same thing at both ends. Make sure it's locked down nice and snug. The router right now has a 1/4 inch spiral upcut bit, and we're going to use that to run our main channel here. First thing we need to do, of course, is figure out how far we need to go. This is how far we need to go with our 1/4 inch bit, and then a little mark down here with the 5/16. And we want to put a stop here so that we don't go too far. I just clamp in any stray random wood block that will fit. I have used my depth adjustment to go down to level this block here, and then we're just going to use the truss rod itself to set the depth gauge. Make sure that is locked down really tight. Ask me how I know. And then I usually back it off just a hair. We'll sneak up on the depth as we get closer to making the final cut. I also keep a little block here, same height as my neck or pretty close, just so that I don't tip while I'm right here on the edge. A couple things I wanted to point out before I do what'll probably be the final cut. I keep a scraper or any kind of straight edge that'll fit in here. This helps me figure out how much more do I need to take off. This should sit flat. As you can see, we're kind of rocking. The second thing you'll notice is I always push from the base of the router. Push from the top, you're gonna lean, even the handles. All right, our truss rod channel is all done. We fit in there nicely. So now we want to figure out what we want to do with the carbon fiber. I want it to go into the heel, but not so far that it interferes with the neck joint. I'm just going to go ahead and plop it at the end of where the truss rod's main channel stops. And then I usually go almost to where the nut is on the other end. Come in about 3/8 from where this starts to taper away. Now I like to have 1/8 of an inch of material between the truss rod and the carbon fiber rods. What I've got here is just a little strip of wood that's just under 3/16. If I draw a line, the outside of that at both ends lining up against where our truss rod channel is, and then make that my center line, that should drop me about where I need to be. Our new center line, is what we just marked out for the carbon fiber. All right, so now our router is gonna go from here to here. I've got 1/8 of an inch upcut bit in here now. First carbon fiber rod is in. Adjusted ourselves to the center line on the other side, and we're gonna run the same thing. And that's the whole process. If this is the kind of content you like, please like, subscribe, and we'll see you at the next one.